Okay, so I think now we can start. वेट करिए जरा, ग्रुप में मैसेज डाल दूं एक बार. Okay. Okay, so Sushma is there, Vijayalakshmi is there, Rajesh is there. Okay. So please confirm in the chat box whether everything is fine. Okay, good evening. Good evening. ठीक है सुषमा, please confirm me whether in the chat box is everything all right, audio and video everything is clear. Actually, I think you people are in the other batches classes also. It was visible to you all. Yes sir, clear. Okay, so starting from the previous session, see, Indian Constitution, I have just taken, I think it is going to take 8 to 10 lectures. So I think after that 2 more lectures is going to be sufficient for Indian Constitution. After that we are going to finally close the Indian Constitution and we are going to start other topics and pharma topics as well. So in previous session we were discussing about the salient features of Indian Constitution. So I am just going through the quick review what we have discussed till now. A written constitution drawn from various sources, a combination of rigidity and flexibility, federal system with unitary bias. These are the features associated with Indian parliamentary form of government, fundamental rights and duties. I think till now we have discussed these whole topics, we have discussed in a very detailed manner in previous session. Now we are going to discuss about these fundamental rights and duties, DPSPs, single integrated and independent judicial system, single citizenship, universal adult franchise, emergency provision, synthesis of parliamentary sovereignty, secular state, independent bodies. These everything, whatever the things remaining, we are going to discuss in this session only. Okay, India is going to be the lengthiest constitution of the world, you can say. The oldest constitution is American Constitution. These are the regions that are the region for elephantine structure of Indian Constitution. Okay, it has been drawn from various sources like as Government of India Act, British Constitution, Canadian Constitution, Australian Constitution, Weimar Constitution, USSR, French Constitution, South American, African Constitution, Japanese Constitution. These different things we have taken. So wait, just I'm going through the quick review. Federal system. What exactly is the federation? I have already discussed in the previous session. So in this session, I'm not going to repeat the same thing. Just go and watch the previous session for your more clarity. Office of Governor. I have discussed everything in very detail. In this session also, I'm going to discuss a very deep discussion. Judiciary emergency provisions that has been taken from the 1935. Whatever the order issued by the judiciary, that is in the form of writs or bicameralism concept like a Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, that is associated with this British Constitution. Why? Because Britishers have ruled to India, I think, more than 200 years. So that's why we are having the impact of British Constitution more. Canadian Constitution, federation with a strong center. Everything you are going to mention that center is going to be strong. Australian Constitution, concurrent days, joint sitting. Weimar Constitution, suspension of fundamental right during emergency. Fundamental rights are the concept taken from USA Constitution, but fundamental duties, that is USSR. Idea of justice, social, political and economic justice, that is taken from the USSR. Idea of concept of republic, India is going to be republic. Why? Because the head of state is going to be the elected either directly or indirectly. It is taken from the French Constitution. Idea of liberty, after the French Revolution of 1789, this idea has been evolved, so it has been taken from the French Revolution. Procedure of amendment of Constitution, because Parliament has the right to amend the Constitution, any part of Constitution except basic structure of Constitution, that is going to be defined by the judiciary. Japanese Constitution, procedure established by the law. If you are going to do any criminal activity, if you are going to involve in a criminal activity, you are having a procedure that is going to be worked along that. India is going to be the combination of both. Its amendment is not very simple, so that's why you can say it's rigid. But at the same time, its amendment is also very simple, so you can say it is also the mixture of rigidity and flexible. Federal system with unitary bias. Why? because it is having federalism, federation feature also. Side by side, it is having non-federal feature. So that's why we can say Indian Constitution is federal in form but unitary in spirit. It's a quasi-federalism. Okay. Parliamentary form of government, it has been adopted from the British Parliament system. Already we have discussed. Okay. These things we have discussed. Parliamentary sovereignty and judicial supremacy, we have already discussed. Keswaran Bharati case versus the state of Kerala, 1973. This is going to be the important case in the history of Indian Constitution because it has changed the direction. Single integrated judiciary, we have already discussed. Fundamental rights versus fundamental duties. We need to discuss these things in very detailed manner. Okay, so the today's session is start from here. So please have a patience. I would say definitely each and everything before this session, after this session, you are going to learn a lot. I can assure you. So trust me, your knowledge is going to be enhanced. Fundamental rights versus fundamental duties. Fundamental rights, they have been given by fundamental rights. Here rights, here duties. Duties are basically moral obligations that it is expected from citizens. It is not binding in nature. It is expected from citizens. That is duties. But rights are constitutionally given to citizens. That is fundamental rights. It has been constitutionally given to citizen. If anybody is going to violate, that particular person or institution can approach for the Supreme Court, High Court, against the government, against any individual. That is right. So fundamental rights and fundamental duties both have been given from Constitution. But the basic difference is fundamental rights is justiciable. It means if anybody is violating, either it is individual, either it is government. If anybody is violating your law, violating your fundamental rights that is given by the Indian Constitution, you can approach the High Court, you can approach the Supreme Court. But again, I would repeat, not lower court or subordinate court. Only High Court and Supreme Court you can approach for the violation of this particular right. That is justiciable. While as fundamental duties, these are not justiciable. These are the expectations from citizen. You need to be a law-abiding citizen. You need to take care of the environment. You need to respect your flag. You need to make the unity inside your country. These are expectations of the government, of the Constitution from you people, from Indian citizen. So these are moral obligations. Duties are moral obligations, while as fundamental rights are the rights given to you by Constitution, Indian Constitution. So where they have been mentioned? They have mentioned in the part 3 of Indian Constitution. Okay. Part 1 talks about the India and its part. Part 2, citizens. Part 3, when citizens are there, definitely they are having some rights. So part 3 of Indian Constitution guarantees 6 fundamental rights. No one can violate, no one can snatch. It has been fundamentally given to you because these are fundamental rights. Means in your growth and development, these are going to impact you. Right to get education is your fundamental right. If nobody is going to give you the education, what is going to be your life? So these are very fundamental. Why fundamental? Because these are helping in nurturing your career, nurturing in your growth, nurturing your personality. That's why they have used the word fundamental rights. Means these are very basic right that is needed to be development of a particular human beings. That's why they are fundamental rights. Earlier they were 7 in number, but right now they are 6 in number. What was the 7th? Right to property. Right to property was the 7th fundamental right. You can say it has been abrogated, it had been eliminated from the fundamental right, and now it is a legal right. You can say right to property right now it's a legal right, not fundamental right. Under Article 300A. So totally in current scene, 6 fundamental rights are only, not 7. 7th is like as a legal right, that is right to property. Okay, earlier it was fundamental right, but now it's a legal right, not fundamental right. Rajesh, sir, network issues from my side. I may leave the session. No issues there, Rajesh. No issues there. You can leave the session because this session is going to be uploaded after this class. So after this class, you can watch this. So fundamental rights are justiciable and protected by judiciary. Why? If anybody, if either government or individual it is violating, you can approach to the judiciary. So Judiciary is on violation, one can approach court for implementation. Court issue various writ. Means writs are basically the order issued by the courts, including habeas corpus. What are the different orders name? Habeas corpus. Suppose anybody has arrested, police has arrested any person, it need to present that particular victim within the 24 hours in front of the court. Okay, that is called as habeas corpus. And if police is not presenting that person, it is torturing, without any reason they have arrested, so that particular person, lawyer can approach on the behalf of that person and court can issue the habeas corpus. Means whatever the people you have arrested, either it is legally or illegally, just tell me the reason, just present in front of us. That is called as habeas corpus. So habeas corpus is a type of writ that is issued by the Supreme Court or High Court. Then other is mandamus, prohibition, certiorari, and quo warranto for the restoration of rights. Okay. So these are different orders for different purposes. No need to go in very detail, but definitely you need to understand that at what time mandamus is going to be released, at what time quo warranto is going to be released. Definitely upcoming session we are going to discuss that. If you're going to discuss in detail, it is not going to come into it. It is going to definitely enhance your understanding. But side by we need to take care of that. We need to manage our time because we need to go for the pharmacy related examination. No need to go for PhD. But yes, as a citizen, you need to understand these terms. Fundamental rights. These 6 fundamental rights. So first important question is how many fundamental rights? 6 in number. Why these are fundamentals? Because these are important for the growth and nurturing or personality of that particular individual. That's why their name is fundamental rights. These are not given by birth. So fundamental rights are given by the Indian Constitution. So first one is right to equality. Everybody has the right to equality. Either it is right to equality is going to be proper implemented or not, but Constitution has given it. That is through Article 14 to 18. 14 to 18, right to equality. Right to freedom, Article 19 to 21, freedom of speech. Because India is a democratic country. It's not like North Korea, that if you are going to go for anything, they are going to blast you, they are going to hang you. No, it's India, it's a democratic country. Right now, I was just seeing the case of BBC documentary. They have made a documentary on PM Modi for this Gujarat riots. Because India is a democratic country. China has banned that. Why? Because earlier UK has banned a particular channel of China. So that's why in the provocation of that reaction, they have banned the BBC in China. But India cannot do that because it's a democratic country. Okay, that is the basic difference. Right against exploitation. If anybody is going to exploit you, you are having the right. You can just go for that. Right, Article 23 to 24. Suppose any children is below 14 years, he or she is going to be misused. He or she is going to be working, okay, in hotels or any factories. Definitely, that comes under the exploitation. Right to freedom of religion. You can follow any religion, either Hindu or Muslim or Christianity or Sikh or any religion. That is Article 25 to 28. You are having certain freedoms. You can establish your institutions like as minority. In India, minority can itself, they can establish their institution. Like as you can see, some gurukuls, some Shishu Mandir and some madrasas, different institutions they can establish. They can propagate their religion inside the India. No issue there. Cultural and educational rights. Article 29 to 30. Cultural and educational rights. You are having the educational rights. Okay. Right to constitutional remedies. If anybody is violating your laws or anybody has arrested you or any problem that is associated, you can go for the court. Article 32. You are having the options to approach the court. That is called as constitutional remedies. So you are having the right to equality. You are having the right to freedom. You are having the right against exploitation. You are having the right of freedom of religion. The right of cultural and educational rights. Right to constitutional remedies. That is Article 32. You need to just remember this article, right to equality. Article 14, Article 15, Article 16, Article 17, Article 18. These things need to be discussed, but for this session only, for salient feature, that much information is sufficient over here. Okay, if you are going to discuss the detail of fundamental rights, definitely we are going to discuss each and every point. But for this point of view, that is more than sufficient. Okay, now coming on the important things. So fundamental rights are not absolute. If you can say, yes sir, I am having fundamental rights, I can approach the court. But side by side, you are also having moral obligations. Why you people are not talking about the moral duties? As a citizen, some things are also expected from you. Constitution is also expecting something from your side. You're talking every time, you're talking about the rights. Sir, my this issue, that issue. But actually, you are having some duties also. But people don't care about the duties. They always try to go for this. I am having the right, I am having the fundamental rights. But side by side, you are also having the duties. But here, one thing is very important. That is up to the importance level. You can see that is been asked in UPSC as well as. Fundamental rights are not absolute. Means आप दादागिरी नहीं कर सकते. It's not absolute. It is having some restrictions. Subject to reasonable restrictions, it is having some restrictions. These are not absolute. Means you are having fundamental right, you can do anything. No. Your fundamental right is up to that level where there is nothing disturbances for other people. You can enjoy your freedom up to that level. If anybody is having any problem with you, that is not the freedom. You're disturbing that particular person. So you need to understand fundamental rights that had been given from the Indian Constitution, but these are not absolute. It is not having that you can do anything. No, it's not like that. These are subject to reasonable restrictions. They cannot be sacrosanct and can be curtailed and repealed by the parliament, like as during the emergency. Through a constitutional amendment act, your fundamental rights could be removed, could be curtailed, could be abolished. It is much possibility, but I am 100% sure that judiciary is going to intervene in that, because this fundamental rights comes under the basic structure of constitution. If parliament is going to change without any proper reason, if they are going to totally abolish, definitely the intervention of judiciary is going to come and they are going to declare it null and void. If any modification is there, it is justified, but totally or scrapping, that is not possible. So can be suspended during national emergency except Article 20 and 21. What is going to be the more important in Article 20 and 21? Right to life and liberty, Article 21. You cannot snatch anyone's life. Okay. So can be suspended during national emergency except Article 20 and 21. Article 21 and 20 and 21 cannot be suspended during this. These are exceptions. You need to understand. These type of facts they have asked in UPSC in a state level civil services examination. Fundamental duties. So fundamental duties originally, fundamental rights were originally provided in Indian Constitution because from the USA Constitution our lawmakers have taken. But fundamental duties, these were not originally. Means later it has been added by the constitutional amendment. So originally not provided in Indian Constitution. They have been added later, added to our constitution by 46th Amendment Act. So they can ask the questions, by which act fundamental duties were added in our Indian Constitution? 46th Amendment Act 1976. That was the time when of national emergency, at the time of national emergency, 1975. After that, Janta government was there. Then after that, it was submerged, and right now you can see Bharatiya Janata Party. On the recommendation of Swarna Singh Committee. So these type of questions. What is the important questions? Fundamental duties, they were not originally included in the constitution. They were added later. First fact. Second fact, they have added by if they have added later, by which amendment? Because amendment, through the amendment you can delete or you can add. So 46th Amendment Act 1976, at the time of Indira Gandhi government, at the time of emergency. A lot of changes has been done in Indian Constitution during emergency. So you can imagine for the power, what people can go through that. After that, she was lost the elections and Janta government has came, Morarji Desai. On recommendation of Swarna Singh Committee. So based on recommendation of Swarna Singh Committees, these fundamental rights were included in Indian Constitution by the 46th Amendment Act 1976. Where it has been mentioned, fundamental rights have been mentioned in part 3, whereas it has been mentioned in part 4A. It means part 4 will be there. So part 4 is DPSP, Directive Principles of State Policy. Directive Principles of State Policies. Okay, DPSP. See, fundamental rights are for individual, for our citizens, for their development. But DPSPs are duties of a country, duties of a state. Suppose India as a country has responsibility to take care of its people, release some schemes for the welfare of their society. These are moral obligations. So DPSPs are what? DPSPs are moral obligation for the state, for that country. But fundamental duties are moral obligations for the citizen. You can say DPSPs are expectations from government, while as fundamental duties are expectations from citizens. Simply, in simple language, you can say. Till now, it is clear? Is it clear till now? Is there anyone in class in or either? Mostly people have left. Amila is there, Sushma is there, Vijayalakshmi is there. Okay. So, is it okay till now? Yes, sir. Okay. So, I think now you people, in the starting of this session, lot of trouble there, sir. I'm not going to discuss the things. I'm not getting the things. It is very typical. It is very tough, sir. But now it's okay. You are comfortable with the topic. As you are going to proceed the class, definitely your understanding is going to be improved. Okay. So here you can say last sometime they are going to 86th Constitutional Amendment Act 2002 added one more fundamental right. So one more fundamental duty. So fundamental duties are 11 in number, while as fundamental rights 6 in number. You need to just take care of that. Last one, the Constitutional Amendment Act was done, that is 2002, related to fundamental duties, and 11th was added. What was the 11th? You can say, what was the 11th duty? Can anybody tell? What was the 11th fundamental duty that was added in 2002? It will be the duty of every guardian to provide education to her children, his children. It was also duty of a state to provide educations. That was under DPSPs. Okay. So like DPSPs, fundamental duties are non-justiciable. So DPSP and fundamental duties are non-justiciable. If any government is not going to follow the DPSP, if any citizen is not going to follow the fundamental duties, you cannot approach the court. That's it. That is, they are non-justiciable. While as fundamental rights are justiciable. Fundamental duties are given as a guarantee to the pupil, while the duties are obligations every citizen is expected. These are the moral obligation, you can say. From every citizen it is expected. So fundamental duties are obligations or expectation from a citizen, while as DPSPs or obligations are expectation from the state. State bole to country or any state. Okay, so I think till now it is clear. Fundamental duties, fundamental right. Okay, now coming on DPSPs. So DPSPs are mentioned in part 4 of Indian Constitution. Where this concept has taken, because these are the provisions that have been taken from the different constitution of the world. So Irish Constitution, from Irish. Okay. Any famous lady which has came from the Ireland, you can say some moment in history you can remember. What was the name of that particular female personality? Can anybody tell the name of that particular lady? Home rule movement. She was involved. Okay, that was a Irish lady. Okay, so DPSPs in our constitution are included to provide social and economic justice. These are the questions that have been asked by the UPSC. So from this session also you will be able to handle the questions of UPSC as well. As up to that level I'm discussing the things. If you do not trust, you can just open the questions of UPSC of last 5 years and just go to the solving the questions related to Indian Constitution. You will be able to handle these questions. Yes. Annie Besant, yes. She was Annie Besant, Home Rule movement. And what was the other person that was associated with India and he was involved in Annie Besant in India? with Bal Gangadhar Tilak. Yes, right. So Home Rule League, one Home Rule League was associated with this Any Besant, and he was also responsible with this Hindi college, that is BHU. So before Madan Mohan Malvi, this was the particular Any Besant was the personality that was behind BHU. Okay, so whatever the BHU University that is in Varanasi, UP, you can say Central University, one of the topmost, one of the famous university inside the world, that was also, there was a role in establishment of that particular lady, Any Besant. Yes. So social and economic justice and democracy to our people. So what is the main role of DPSP? Social and economic justice. They aim at establishing a welfare state. Means they are expecting from the state that you need to launch some policies that are in the welfare of people and welfare state of India, where there is no concentration of wealth, you can say, whether nahi hoga ya wealth hoga, in the hand of few. Okay, so if we are going to categorize, they are socialistic DPSPs, some Gandhian, some liberal or intellectual. So socialistic, Gandhian, liberal, these are DPSPs, the category of DPSPs. Okay, that to principles of state policies. Now the fact is, unlike the fundamental rights, because fundamental rights are justiciable, these fundamental duties and DPSP are non-justiciable in nature. That means not enforced by the court for their violation. Simply I have written down that. Okay. But you need to understand these yellow lines are very important. Based on my conclusion, I have written these points. Okay. So what are my points? Yet the Constitution itself declare that these principles are fundamentals in the governance of country and shall be the duty of state to apply these principles. Like as Uniform Civil Code right now, the point of discussion inside the country. Uniform Civil Code. Every religion has their own laws. But Goa is the first state that has implemented this Uniform Civil Code. Is it possible that every we are residing in India, that the follower of every religion going to be there? How we can implement this Uniform Civil Code? But we need to wait for the opportunity. That's why from independence they have not touched the topic. But right now that is the you can say that is the time we can implement this Uniform Civil Code. So we need to take suggestions from the different leaders, spiritual leaders, religious leaders, so that there could be an environment in the country so that we can implement this Uniform Civil Code. That's why this current government is under discussion with other people parties. Okay, you can say. See, these DPSPs are moral obligations on state, not people or any citizen. It's a state, but it's not justiciable. It's non-justiciable. You cannot force a state to do these things. Suppose it's having responsibility to go for welfare state. It's not mandatory that government should implement Uniform Civil Code. No, it's not mandatory. They are based on the discretion of government. Either they can implement it, either they cannot implement it. Previous government has not implemented, but this government has the intention to implement. So you can say these are non-justiciable, but yet the Constitution itself declares that these principles are fundamental in the governance. So if these type of statement, which one of the below mentioned is going to be the fundamentals in the governance of country, DPSPs, governance of countries, these are not justiciable in nature, but these are very important part for the governance inside the country. And it shall be the duty of state. Side by side, they are making it mandatory also. It shall be. It shall be. You can just go for the language. It shall be the duty of state to apply these principles in making laws. These are non-justiciable, but it's a moral obligations also. If you're going to making any laws or any policies, that should be for the people. Okay, that is called as DPSP. So I think राज्य के नीति निदेशक तत्व, in Hindi you can say, that is directive principles of state policy. So what is fundamental right? What is DPSP? What is fundamental duties? I think it's clear. Fundamental rights are rights given by the Constitution to an individual. Fundamental right has been not given to organization. No, it's individual. Why these are fundamental? Because these are important in the development of a person. for development of your personality. If I have not been given the fundamental right of education, how I could develop my personality? Okay, if I were not given you can say the right of speech, how it is possible to I can speak on every matter? Okay, so it's very important for development of personality. What? Fundamental right, justiciable in nature. Fundamental duties and fundamental DPSPs were what? DPSPs are moral obligations of state that before making any policy, they need to take care of that, and that should be for the welfare of the society. While as fundamental duties are moral obligation to the citizen. That has been taken the concept from USSR. Okay, DPSPs, IRIS. From Ireland, we have taken this DPSP concept, fundamental duties, USSR, fundamental rights, American Constitution. Okay. Also, you can see some cases that are associated in India that were also given some. You can see Minerva Mills case of 1980. Wait. Minerva Mills case of 1980, like case 1 and Bharti case was associated with 1773. So it has given some directions to the country. Like that, some other cases were there. Minerva Mills case 1980. Supreme Court held that Indian Constitution is founded on the bedrock of the balance between fundamental right and DPSP. In this case, it was proved that fundamental rights and DPSPs are very important for the governments. Okay. Now, next feature is universal adult franchise. Universal adult franchise means you are having right to vote, and right to vote is not a fundamental right. It's a constitutional right. No, it's a legal right given by the law. It is not mentioned in Constitution, but it is given by the law. So right to vote is a legal right, not constitutional right, not fundamental right. Okay, legal right, universal. If anybody, either you people or me or any person, either it is rich people or black people or white people or any people, no issues there. Either it is Hindu, either it is Muslim, either it is richer people or weaker person, no, either it is tall people or short people, no issue is going to be there. He or she has just attained the age of 18 years, 18 years. He or she is eligible to voting. Okay, that is the important. You can say it has been made for the political equality. Either it is Ambani or Adani or you people or me people. Everybody is important because everybody has the right to vote. Okay, so Indian democracy functions on the basis of one person, one vote. I'm having the one person, I'm having the one vote issue. Okay, every citizen of India who is 18 years of age or above is entitled to vote in the elections irrespective of caste, sex, race, religion or status. Either you are Adani, Ambani or are from Tata or you are from very lower background, no issues there. You are having the right to vote. In simple terms, these are directions given to state to make effective policies for good governance. Yes, Emilia, that is the best you can say. You have given the best definition. Yes. So these are the directions you can say. Voting age was reduced. Earlier it was 21 years, but it was reduced to 18 years from 21 in 1980 by the 61st Constitutional Amendment Act. Sometimes they are going to ask these questions. By which act the right to vote age for the right to vote has been reduced to 18 years? That is 61st Constitutional Amendment 1988. Okay. Emergency provision. Next feature is emergency provisions. So three type of emergency you can observe. See, I'm discussing the things even in a very detailed manner. After that, I think that is going to be more than sufficient. Okay. From Government of India, where from this provision it has been taken? Government of India Act 1935. Okay. So we can say these type of acts which were passed time to time by the British Parliament, they have helped in developing our Indian Constitution. That's why we have discussed these acts in development of Indian Constitution. Okay. So three types of emergency is going to be there. One is national emergency that we have seen at the case of Indira Gandhi government 1975. National emergency based on what? Article 352. For you people, article is very important. National emergency comes under Article 352. Please write down that. state emergency or presidential rule. Sometimes here government is going to be there, state government is not going to follow the rule. It's simple that go for application of this president rule. You can say many times the ruling government, union ruling government, has misused the power. Either it is Congress, either it is BJP government or any government. Everybody has misused this power for their effectiveness. Financial emergency under Article 360. Here, state emergency is applied based on two articles. I have gone through the very depth manner, you can say. These type of questions they have asked in UPSC and State Civil Services Examination. Only you people remember that Article 356 means President rule. But it is also 365 also. I'm also going to discuss this article. Based on 356, कहते हैं ना आर्टिकल 356 लगा देंगे, 365 लगा देंगे, like these things statement they are going to political बयानबाजी होती है उसमें, ठीक है. So three type of emergency is going to be important. National emergency under Article 352 for competition, important. State emergency president rule Article 356 based on Article 356 and 365, mostly 356. Third one is financial emergency Article 360. So Article 360 is related to financial emergency, and you are lucky, we people are lucky that till now no financial emergency has been implemented in our country. After 75 to 76 years of independence, you can say, not even single financial emergency has been implemented. The state emergency, lot of times, 58 times, 10 times, 20, even in a state, Punjab, like Punjab and UP, more than 5 to 10 times, I think approximately 10 times they have applied this particular rule. National emergency, majorly you can see in the case of what? Indira Gandhi government, 1975, national emergency. Okay, now you need to understand. What you need to understand? On what basis they are going to? On the ground of war or external aggression or armed rebellion. Earlier it was the word internal disturbance. It was war or aggression or internal disturbance. So the previous government, because Indira Gandhi has lost the election of particular constituency, and it was declared by that particular state court, that is Allahabad court. Allahabad court has declared the result of Indira Gandhi's seat, constituency seat, as null and void. Particularly, it was cancelled. To get the power, to hold the power, she has just implemented the emergency, you can say. It was like a black day, you can say. I'm not affected by political parties. Okay, what was the fact? I'm discussing with you people. I do not particularly belong to a particular party. So national emergency. Earlier, what was that? What was criteria? On ground of war or external aggression or internal disturbance. Because internal disturbance could be different. It could be rebellion or anybody, if anybody is going to be armed. If our people are going to be armed and they are going to be rebellion on that. So internal disturbance was a very vague term. Under this term, anything could be possible. So that's why once Indira Gandhi government has lost, because she has lost the power. She was having totally the chance to lose the power because her election was declared null and void by the Allahabad court. So to avoid his power, to gain his power, she has just gone for the national emergency. After that, because she has lost the election, Janta government has came, and whatever the constitutional majority, 46th Amendment Act, 42nd Amendment Act, you can say, that was totally done by the Indira Gandhi government at the time of emergency. Lot of provisions have been changed. Earlier the provision was there, whatever the emergency is going to apply, like a national emergency, it need to be approved by the president. But it was cancelled, that no need for the approval of president. On the declaration by PM, it could be implemented. Fakhruddin Ali at that time, I think he was the president. And one you can say funny images is going to be there is already available in internet. And he was bathing in the tub, and at the tub he was signing for the emergency. Like that type of images, cartoon, BBC has just released. Okay. So national emergency. But this term has been removed because after once she has lost the election, once after that government has came, that has changed the provisions made by this Indira Gandhi government. So Morarji Desai government, Janata government has changed. So you can see 44th amendment. 46th was the major amendment. Lot of things have been amended from the 46th. That's why it is known as mini constitutional amendment, mini constitution. It was the largest, you can say. Lot of things have been changed in 42nd amendment. But lot of things have been reversed in 44th constitutional amendment also. At the time of, you can say, Morarji Desai government, Janata government. Okay, here. This term has removed, and now the term is, it should be on the ground of war, it should be ground of external aggression or armed rebellion, not internal disturbances, because internal disturbance was the vague term. Now it has been removed. Under this, a lot of things could be possible. That's why she has got the opportunity to put down this national emergency. State emergency is based on Article 356 and 365. So state emergency is also known as president rule. Suppose in center it is going to be BJP government. In Bengal, it's Didi government. If it is going to be conflicted. So based on two things, directly you cannot go for application of these things. But it needs, right now it needs approval by the cabinet, a signature of president also. But that time for emergency implementation, it was not there. Right now the consensus of cabinet is also required. The signature of president is also required for implementing this emergency. So state emergency means president rule on the basis of Article 356 and Article 365. If both articles are going to be there, these are correct. But mostly in answers, 356 is going to be there. So what is Article 356? Failure of constitutional machinery in state. Like in Maharashtra, you can say earlier BJP Shiv Sena government was there. But now it's, you can say, different parties are involved. In Bihar, you can say Nitish government and BJP government were there. But right now, RJD and Nitish government is going to be there. So if there is a constitutional crisis, means state is not in a situation to rule. None of the party is not able to prove their majority. None of the party have got the majority, or he or she, that particular party is not able to make the government. That is called as constitutional crisis. So if that type of situation are going to be there, on the report of governor, because in that state governor will be there, because governor is going to be the representative center. So governor is going to make the report. Earlier government will give the opportunity that party that is having the majority, they can prove and make the government. But if he thinks that I have given proper opportunity, but these people are not capable to make the government, I need to make a report and report to the center. So based on the report of governor, already governor has given the chance, but these people are not capable of making government. So it's a constitutional crisis. So based on the report of governor that is going to send to center, center may implement that you people are not capable of making government. It is a failure of constitutional machinery. That's why we are implementing this Article 356. Okay, like हमेशा you can say तोड़ जोड़ के नेता ऐसा बोला जाता है उनके बारे में. But what is going to be the exact situation? I think you people better know. Okay, sometimes for Amit Shah, some words are you like he is the Chanakya of BJP. I'm not going to be political, but these type of words they have been mentioning. So one is Article 356. If any of the party or that is not able to make government, that is failure of constitutional machinery. I have discussed that what is the failure of constitutional machinery means. I've already discussed. Article 365, failure to comply directions of court or government, you can say. That is court or government. Mostly government. This is going to be very easy. Suppose central government has given directions to Bengal government that you need to follow these things. One of the reasons was the conflict of CBI. Because entering of CBI is a national body. Entering of CBI, that is somewhat associated. It's a national agency. It can go for an investigation anywhere. But provision is that you need, before proceeding that, you need to take permission of that state. Like as in case of an IPS officer, senior IPS officer, the government has just stopped that CBI. You cannot enter. In the case of Sushant case also, Mumbai police, that has been prevented. Vinay Tiwari, the IPS, senior IPS officer, you can say. from the Bihar government for the investigation they have gone, but they have prevented. So failure to comply directions of court. If court or government, you can say, mostly it is not court, it is government. Okay, court is also included, it is government also included. If court is not followed, going to be the order of follow, court is not going to be followed, government is also going to take the cognizance. It's government. Okay, so if government has issued any order and that state is not going to follow that obligations, based on that they can apply the president rule, that I have given the instruction and you people have not followed. This is not in the interest of Indian citizen, that's why we are applying this president rule. So I think it's clear. Last one is financial emergency. What are the worst situation in our Indian economy? That was 1991. Some days of reserve, some days of food were left for India. Food crisis was Jai Jawan Jai Kisan at the time of Shastri government. Whole India has not taken the food 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. Okay. 1991. The biggest change you can see in the Indian history, 1991. This was the collapse of USSR also. But at the same time, after that, India was closed economy. Everything was monitored within the domestic area. But after 1991, because India has approached for the IMF, World Bank, so they have just put down some obligations. You need to open your your economy. Okay, so liberalization, privatization, and globalization. Whatever the journey, success journey, you can say 1 trillion economy. It has taken 50 to 60 years. 2 trillion economy just taken 12 years. 3 trillion economy just 5 to 6 years. You can say right now India is a 3 trillion economy. First trillion was completed in 50 to 60 years. 50 years you can say. And second 1 trillion was within the 12 years. Third 1 trillion was just within the 5 to 6 years. You can just go for the success story. It was possible because of this liberalization, privatization, and globalization. Now, if any crisis is going to occur in any part of world, it is going to affect the economy because everything is connected. Globalization. Supply chain is connected. If any war is going to be there, definitely the supply of whole world is going to be affected. LPG. Okay. So these things I have discussed. Okay. So I think that is going to be the more than sufficient. Everything we have discussed. See, I need to check any slide is going to be remaining. No. These are format slides. So till now, if any question is going to be there, you can ask. If you people have any questions, you can ask. So salient features of Indian Constitution I have discussed in a very detailed manner. I hope these videos are very helpful. After that, parts, schedules, articles that I have started in earlier, I'm going to discuss these things in a very detailed. Okay. So once after 1 or 2 classes, the Constitution is going to be totally over. And I am sure that as an Indian citizen also, now you are able to understand the role of Constitution. Now you are having some interest in Indian Constitution. As an Indian citizen also, as a competition perspective also. Okay, so if you are having any question, you can ask. I'm just waiting for your questions. You people are having any questions? I'm just waiting for your questions. If you are having, you can ask. Otherwise, I need to close the session. Okay. Okay, clear, sir. Okay, Sushma is saying clear, sir. Okay. Just go and watch. Once the session is going to be finished, just go and watch again so that it could be in the mind for long term. MLA is saying clear, sir. Okay. How was the quality of this session? Indian Constitution? Are you people getting comfortable with this session? Earlier it was very tough. It was looking very tough, but now it's very easy. Whatever the things I have discussed, I just want to take a feedback on these things before joining this class for Indian Constitution and after, when we are going to at the end of this Indian Constitution. Have your understanding have gone that much of some high? Your clearance is going to be high. Have you learned something from these sessions? Have you got some clarity on Indian Constitution after this session? Is it so? Just confirm me, and after that we are going to close the session. I have asked about parts, sir. Okay. What, Sushma? Parts means what? What exactly? You can repeat the same questions. Okay. I'm not getting the questions exactly. Sushma is saying 22 or 25. See, what exactly happens? You do not go in the numbers. Actually, problem is that suppose they have mentioned that it is going to be 395 articles. Okay. Sometimes in some article, some clauses is going to be there. Some sub clauses is going to be there. If you're going to count these clauses, sections, so definitely the article is going to be high. So do not count these numbers. Okay. It are 395 plus, just for your remembering, that is basic understanding. Okay. In Lakshmikant updated sessions, they have given the 25 parts, but in previous version they have given the 22 parts. Okay. So I would say do not go for numbers. You just need have an overview. Okay. These type of controversial questions where number may change, nobody is going to ask. You can see in the UPSC paper also. You can see in the state services. They have not even asked the number of questions. How many part in Indian Constitution? How many articles in Indian Constitution? Because these are subjective. If anybody is going to count these clauses, so definitely the number of articles is going to increase. So these are contradictory questions. So this should be avoided. Okay. These type of questions will never be asked because these are controversial questions. These are subjective questions. And I think till now you have not seen any questions. See, if you go for the latest, Sushma, see, if you go for the latest, you can count 25. But 22 is also the correct option. Okay, what about other people? See here, I am just going to recheck it. Wait, I'm rechecking. See, in previous session, they have totally clearly mentioned 22, okay? And till now, if they have asked any questions, 22 is going to be the most correct option. They have mentioned 395, but right now the current situation is, if we are count the sub clauses, definitely it is going to be 395 plus. Clear, and your classes are very informative, sir. Till now, clear, sir. Okay. Okay, so I think it is going to be a satisfactory class. So we are going to close the session. Thank you so much for your valuable time and your faith and your trust on us. So definitely this gives us motivation for we people. Okay. So definitely in upcoming sessions, for either it is going to be pharma or non-pharma, we are going to give you the best from our side. If anybody is in your known, you can just recommend our courses. Okay. It's a simple request we can say. Because people are expending a lot of things, a lot of money, 10,000, 15,000. It's very costly, but it's all about intention. Many people have asked, sir, on this basic price, how you're going to give these courses? But it's all about intention. If you are having intention to give the courses at best price, simply you can give. If it is not your intention, you cannot provide the courses. So it's our totally wholesale intention that we are going to give the best. Okay. So from my side, definitely I'm going to give the best from my side. I'm going to utilize whatever the knowledge I've gained till this age. Definitely I'm going to implement. I'm going to share with you all people also. Thank you so much once again. Thank you.